Hey students, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to discuss the worksheet of states of matter. These are the topical past paper questions from the year 2016 to 23. All are paper 2 questions. Choose the correct answer. Let's start. Question number 1. The particles of a substance gain energy and change from a regular ordered structure to a disordered structure with large distance between the particles. Which change of state is described? Now, what is this change of state? The particles gain energy. So, it means that the molecules gain energy. And when the particles gain energy, they start moving faster. As they move faster, they move around, they collide with each other, they create spaces between them. So, the particles absorb energy and they change from a regular ordered structure. It means from the solid structure, which has a regular structure, they change into disordered structure with large spaces, large distance between them. It means it is a gas. So, a state change in which a solid changes into gas is called sublimation. So, the answer is D. Next question. Number 2, particles moving very slowly from an area of higher concentration to an area of low concentration. Which process is being described? Now, if the particles are moving very slowly, then these particles may be from the liquid state, because if they are gas particles, then gas particles moving very fast. Gas particles diffuse or they spread around faster as compared to the liquid. So liquid particles diffuse slowly from an area of high concentration to low concentration. So this is C. Option C is correct. A substance diffusing through a liquid. Question number 3. Which process causes the greatest increase in the distance between the particles? Greatest increase in the distance between the particles, it means that the particles are of solid, which are very close to each other, and then the state changes and they go really far from each other. So it means that the solid changing into gas, they create the most space between them. Solid directly changing into gas is called sublimation. Question number 4. The diagram shows arrangement of particles in the 3 states of matter P, Q, R. And as you can see very clearly that P is gas, Q is the arrangement of solid, and Q is the arrangement of liquid. It is liquid, and R is the arrangement of solid. So, solid carbon dioxide sublimes to gaseous carbon dioxide. As you can see, there are lots of questions of sublimation. Sublimation is when a solid, sublimation is a change of state, is a phase change. It's a phase change when solid directly changes into gas without a liquid stage between them. So, solid sublimes to gaseous carbon dioxide. Which row describes the final and initial states? Very easy. Solid, R, it changes, it sublimes to gas, which is P. So, initial state is R and final state is P. The answer is C. Next question. Pure water boils at 100 degrees Celsius. What happens to the water particles when water boils? So, water particles are liquid, and when they boil, they turn into gas. So, what happens? The particles move further apart because liquid particles are like this. They are arranged very loosely and randomly, but they are touching each other also. They start moving faster when they absorb energy. So when we give heat to them, the liquid particles absorb the energy, they gain energy, move faster, they create space between them, and they turn into gas particles, very, very far from each other. So they gain energy and they move further apart. A. Next question. A mixture of ice and water is left to stand and the ice melts. Which row describes what happens as the ice is melting? So when the ice is melting, then solid state is changing into liquid, right? So the particles gain energy and they turn into liquid. But when the solid is changing into liquid, there is a phase change which is happening and it is called melting. Whenever there is a phase change, the temperature stays constant. Temperature stays the same whenever there is a phase change. So even if it is melting, if it is boiling, if it is freezing or condensation, any phase change, in any phase change, every phase change, the temperature is same. So temperature of the mixture stays the same. Now, the answer will be from C or D. So average kinetic energy of particles increases or the energy is used to overcome the attractive forces. From these two, the correct answer would be D because temperature stays the same due to the energy which is used to overcome the attractive forces. Energy is not absorbed because when we are heating the solid and there's still a solid state, the temperature is increasing. And when the solid starts changing into liquid and when there is a melting phase, temperature becomes constant. And why temperature becomes same? Because then the absorbed energy, with the energy which is absorbed by the solid particles, it is being used to overcome the attractive forces between them. So this is the correct answer. Number 7. When a gray solid element is heated, it changes directly into a purple gas. Which word describes this change? Again, solid is changing into a gas, so it's called sublimation. Which row about a change of state is correct? Now let's see. Change of state, we have lots of columns. So we have to see, like, let's take one column first and then we'll see for the second column. Liquid to solid. If we see this column first, the process, this is easier. So change of state, let's take this column. Let's see. Solid to liquid. Is it melting? Yes, it's melting. Gas to liquid. Gas turning into liquid. Is it called evaporation? No, because it is called condensation. When the gas changes into liquid, it's called condensation. So it means option B is not correct. Solid changing into a gas, sublimation. Yes. Liquid to solid, condensing. No. What is it called? Yes, you are right. This is called freezing. Liquid to solid is called freezing. So D is also not correct. Answer will be from A or C. Now, we'll see energy change, whether the heat is absorbed or given out. When solid turning into liquid, it's melting and heat is given out. This is wrong because heat is gained when it is melting. The particles gain the energy. They start moving faster. They break the forces between them. They create a space and then they create spaces and turn into liquid. So this is wrong. Solid to gas energy heat taken in sublimation. This one is correct because the solid particles, these are solid particles and they gain energy. They move faster, gain energy, move faster, create spaces between them and turn into gases. So there is always heat gain or heat taken in solid changing into gas. I hope this is clear. Question number 9. 1 centimeter cube sample of substance X is taken. Sample 1 means we have a container of 1 centimeter cube and it has any substance X. X is then converted into a different physical state, right? It is then converted into a different physical state. And again, a 1 centimeter cube sample is taken. This is sample 2. Now it is changed into another physical state, but same volume, 1 centimeter cube. Sample 2 contains more particles in 1 centimeter cube. Now, in the same volume, there are more number of particles as compared to sample 1. It means that in sample 1, the particles may be far from each other. And when X is converted into a new phase, into a new state, then the same 1 centimeter cube volume, it contains now more particles. More particles are now present. It means same volume, but the number of particles are more. That means the particles moved closer to each other, right? They move closer to each other, means something, maybe the condensation happened, mean the gas particles turn into liquid, or the liquid particles turned into solid. The particles came together. And here the option B is saying condensation. In all other options, it's boiling, means the particles are in boiling, liquid particles turn into gas, means they move far. In evaporation also, liquid particles move far, they turn into gas. In sublimation, solid particles move far, they turn into gas. So the option B is correct, in which the gas particles come closer to each other, and now the sample 2 contains more particles as compared to sample 1. So the answer is B. Next question is, in which state does 1 decimeter cube of methane contain the most particles? Methane is a gas, CH4. Now it contains the most particles at gas. Okay, it's a gas, right? But at room temperature, which is 25 degrees Celsius, at room temperature, it has the most particles, or at 100 degrees Celsius, it has the most particles. Okay, in 1 decimeter cube. So if we compare these two, then at room temperature, there are most particles of gas present. Because, for example, this is 1 decimeter cube, and this is also 1 decimeter cube. Okay, so at room temperature, the particles are moving randomly at their own speed very easily. They go around easily, happily, they're moving. But in 100 degrees Celsius, we have heated them. When we give heat to the particles, they start moving faster. And when they move faster, they go far from each other. So when they go far from each other, then in the specific volume, less number of particles can come. As we discussed above in above question also. Less number of particles will come when the particles move far from each other. So at room temperature, when we have not heated them, when they are moving at their normal speed, then the particles are more in that area. At 100 degrees Celsius, they will be far from each other, so less number of particles can come in 1 decimeter cube. Question 11. The diagram shows the changes of state between a solid, liquid, and gas. In which changes of state is energy being given out? So, energy is given out when particles have to come together. So, gas particles turning into liquid and liquid particles turning into solid. In these two stages, the particles give out energy. The particles release energy, develop the force of attraction, and come together. So the answer will be answer will be D, 3 and 4. Number 12, 4 physical changes of ethanol are listed: condensation, evaporation, freezing, and boiling. In which changes do the particles move further apart? Means they are close together and then they move far. So in evaporation, they are in liquid stage and they move far from each other. They become gas. And in boiling, when the particles are liquid and they go far from each other. So evaporation and boiling, 2 and 4. In 2 and 4, the particles move apart. 13. Nitrogen is heated in a balloon which expands slightly. Which statements about the molecules of nitrogen are correct? It expands, right? It increases in size. The particles move far apart. So they move further apart? Yes. They move more quickly? Yes. They remain the same distance apart? No. Their speed remains unchanged? No. So when the balloon expands, it means it is being heated, particles are absorbing the heat, they move further apart, and they start moving quicker. So the answer is 1 and 2. 1 and 2 options are correct. 14. A gas is placed in a sealed container. The gas has a pressure of 1 atmosphere and temperature of 50. It is heated to 100. Now the temperature is increased. Which row describes the cause of pressure of the gas and the effect of increasing the temperature of a gas? So what happens with the pressure? Pressure is not changed. Temperature is increased from 50 to 100. So when the temperature is increased, then average speed of the gas particles increases, because increasing the temperature affects the energy of the particles, kinetic energy of the particles, and their speed increases. So for the temperature, these two options are correct. But let's see for the pressure. Which one is correct? The cause of gas pressure, what creates pressure in it? Collision between the gas particles and collisions between gas particles and the container. So, which exerts pressure, which increases pressure? The collision between the gas particles and the container. This one is correct, because pressure will be exerted when the particles hit with each other and with the walls of the container. 15, last question. The sample of a gas occupies 340 centimeter cube. This is the volume which a gas is occupying. The temperature and the pressure are both increased, but the volume occupied by the gas remains same. Which row describes what happens to the particle speed and the average distance between the particles in the gas when the temperature and pressure are both increased? The pressure is increased, but the volume is the same. It means that the distance between the particles remain unchanged. Because if the distance between the particle increases, then the particles take more space. For example, this is the distance between the particles. The gas particles are moving around, and this is the space between them. And when the space increases, then they move far. They are far away from each other. But then they occupy more volume, right? And they are saying that the volume occupied by the gas remains the same. Volume is the same. So it means that the distance between the particle has not been increased. It is also same, unchanged. And when we increase the temperature, obviously the particle speed increases. So the answer C is correct. So I hope all the questions in this worksheet are now clear. If you still have any question in any of the question, if you have query or confusion or anything, then you can write in the comment box whatever you want to ask about whatever question, and I will give you the answer. And stay tuned to my channel for the next video. Bye-bye. I'll see you in the next class.